Yo, what up? It's your boy, Lieutenant Dan. You're kicking it with the boys from The Take. I'm here with General McCormick and Private Zglimbea.
I'm a private?
Yeah. Unfortunately, yes.
Son of a... God.
Not a natural.
And you just walked in on our 10th episode. If this is your first time watching, I'm kind of known as like the flannel guy who likes PBR. I like Star Wars. This is Matt. What are you known for? What's like your shtick?
That.
And
he's cosplaying me right now. Do you need help? Here.
Yeah.
It's really easy.
Thanks,
You
bud.
just...
And this is gonna be a celebratory episode. It's gonna be super kicked back, you know, 10 episodes. I wanna start out by recognizing everybody. Camera lady Katie and cameraman Brian.
Cameraman Brian
They're
and cameraman Aiden.
They've been here since, but Brian and Katie have been here since the start of the show. You know, they're the honorary fourth member. If we were the Beatles, they'd be like they'd be the George Harrison, you'd be Ringo. I'd be Paul Lennon over here.
Thank you. Some bubbly.
I'm gonna get a little juiced, talk about Apocalypse Now. Should be a good time. And I wanna recognize Aiden, he's the Yoko Ono of The Take. And Sarah, I don't know, the analogy is kind of falling apart.
Yeah, the Beatles doesn't work.
There's a
when you get
massive...
past four.
There's a couple people involved that you just don't normally get to see, and you won't see them today either, so...
Ever. You
It's
won't
gonna be
see
a
them
packed
ever.
show. We're gonna bring you our top 10 movies of all time. Gary Oldman's gonna be on later.
Oh, snap,
We're gonna do
Gary
a little
Oldman.
interview with him, yeah.
What?
And there's gonna be singing, there's gonna be dancing. We should get started.
I didn't
gonna
sign
be a
off
great
on
show.
any of this.
I'm gonna give Matt McCormick and Horatiu Zglimbea
Wait.
10 seconds to finally reminisce about the show. Go.
This has been the greatest moment of my life, and you guys are my best friends. Thank you for this pleasures opportunity. This will be the only time that I go over 10 seconds, but not by much, because he's going to do it.
Chopper, give me theme song, Private! Welcome back to The Take. As I said in the intro, today we're reviewing Apocalypse Now, the Redux Edition. Important distinction, because all my problems with this movie, we'll get into it, are with the Redux Edition. I watched both. I watched theatrical.
You watched both?
It was my entire week, pretty much, yeah.
God, I'm sorry.
We're recording this like 4th of July week, so it was interesting watching probably the most unpatriotic movie about America's biggest That was an interesting experience.
During the most patriotic holiday.
Yeah.
Yeah, irony. Like Alanis Morissette.
Let's check out a clip.
Spotted a large weapon down below. We're gonna go down and check it out. All right, this is outstanding, Red Team, outstanding. Get your case of beer for that.
That was a great clip. I'm going to give Matt McCormick 15 seconds to give his initial impressions on the movie. Yo.
You know, in the scene where they bring in the Playgirls and they're all like getting hooping and hollering and like the dudes get way out of control, emotionally, that's how I feel about this movie.
You were hooping and
I
hollering
was
and got out of control.
hollering and got out of control, and I just get way too stoked on it for metaphorical reasons.
Horatiu Zglimbea?
Well, at first I was really excited because it was a really good, seemingly cool Vietnam movie, but then things got crazier and crazier, and I didn't know what was happening, and then they killed a cow, and things went off rails really fast, and the movie's a little bit too metaphorical, I believe, and a little
Time!
too confusing.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I was a little nervous about picking this movie for our 10th episode because I've seen other Vietnam War movies like Platoon and Full Metal Jacket, and I don't know, they're good, but I feel like the plot kind of evaporates from my mind a couple days after watching them.
Mm-hmm.
But I actually really like this movie. I found it really entertaining, and I think that comes from grounding it in the high concept of setting it like putting Heart of Darkness in Vietnam. Like there's always that forward momentum of going up the river to meet Kurtz, and I don't think that, for me at least, Kurtz does not disappoint when you finally get to him.
For those of you that don't know, Apocalypse Now is actually a adaptation of the novel by Joseph Conrad, Heart of Darkness.
The first thing I want to talk about is Martin Sheen, because it's interesting that our protagonist is a bit of a cipher, you know? Like, you don't really get to know a lot about him. In the Redux version, which I don't really like, they add these scenes where he's kind of being more affable with the crew, where you get to know him a little bit better. But in the theatrical cut, he's just, you don't get any character building moments with him. And the first time you really see any side of him that's telling of who he is when they're raiding that one riverboat and he shoots the woman. And I think that's a lot more striking.
Wow, that is a lot more striking. I watched only the Redux version because, I mean, more is always better, right? This is America, so,
Not
you know,
necessarily.
supersize me now.
I think that people always pass judgment on studio involvement, saying that, yeah, these studios are ruining artists' visions and stuff. I think a little bit of moderation is good in some sense, especially when you got 200 hours of footage. You need to pull it back a little bit.
Clearly, Dan doesn't understand sarcasm, I think. No, I mean, I think that it sounds like the theatrical version would have been way more striking because as it was just a regular old war movie, you know, a regular old Vietnam movie, and it went on for a long time. And I like that better. I like that idea better, where you don't see the guy, you don't know what he's all about until he, you know, the beginning scene, he's going crazy, having some kind of heart attack or...
He was actually...
Yeah, he was actually having a heart attack.
No, he was drunk in that scene.
He was drunk and he actually had a heart attack.
Martin Sheen?
Martin Sheen actually had a heart attack.
And he cut his finger on the mirror. That was an actual, not scripted.
Wow.
That was literally him drunk and Coppola just rolled camera.
Yeah, I guess when you talk about Apocalypse Now, you do kind of have to talk about how the movie was made. It was really, they went in without a fully completed script, or the script went through multiple revisions during filming. It took 265 days or something.
Jeez.
They're filming in the Philippines.
Christ.
During a civil war.
Yeah, and they're enlisting locals, natives, to help them film for pennies, which is an interesting moral dilemma right there in itself.
And then you get Marlon Brando coming in.
Yeah, who's a force of his own. But I want to ask you guys, like, does that really come through in the movie? There's kind of this whole notion of an artist having to suffer for his work to be considered truly great. Do you buy into that?
No.
Or?
Not at all. No. No, you can make a good movie when in good conditions. You don't need to necessarily, you know.
I feel like the making of this movie and the properties that are around it definitely it lends to the lore of it.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I do think that the insanity does kind of come across on screen, especially just the sheer amount of footage. The way the film is edited is kind of like a dreamlike fever dream remix, where there's like in the opening sequence, there's the helicopter blades and the fan. That's a nice juxtaposition, and then you see like clips from the end of the movie at the beginning. So I feel like this movie's really kind of pushing the medium of what film can be, and not a lot of movies do that these days.
See, I thought it was a little too contrived. It felt a little bit, you know? I think that's the right word. We can put a definition right here, editor Sarah, you know, and make me look like an idiot. But I just felt like it was, while a good story, I just felt like it was trying to be too metaphorical, and it was trying to be too much, you know, too like flowery and in your brain, you know, cerebral.
Well, that's what Hearts of Darkness is.
If you watch the documentary Hearts of Darkness, you do see Francis Ford Coppola is struggling with the question, am I making a pretentious film? But I really don't. I found this film was highly entertaining. I don't know what. I mean, it probably is just the fact that you watched the Redux edition, and there's a lot of pacing issues with that.
And that's, I mean, that the movie did a really good job of making you feel like you were going crazy. Like I'm watching it and I'm like, I'm sitting on my couch just like, what the heck is going on? Oh
It's
my
true,
God!
yeah.
I didn't feel comfortable watching the movie just because it gave off that uneasy vibe, and I was just like,
It loses structure as it goes.
Exactly. Yes.
All the quotable lines and stuff, like everything you see in the trailer, is in the first half of the movie. Like, let's talk Kilgore. What'd you think of Kilgore?
I loved Kilgore. Kilgore was great.
Love the smell of napalm in the morning.
Charlie Don't Surf.
It was nice to finally know where the line came from.
I love the smell of napalm in the morning.
It's an excellent point, fellas. When we come back, we're gonna talk about the performance of the Godfather, Marlon Brando himself. Commercial.
What's happening, OU? I'm Jake Plotz, and welcome to another episode of Out and About.
Hello, and welcome to Veterans History Project. I'm your host, Sarah.
Welcome back to another episode of Focus on Faculty. I'm your host, Anna Ross.
What up? It's your boy, Dan Gordon. I'm here on the set of The Take. Welcome to another episode of Visiting Professionals. I'm your host, Austin Slaybaugh.
Hey, OU. I'm your host, Rihanna.
Welcome to another exciting episode of Explore OU.
All right. Yeah. So, what did you guys think of Marlon Brando's performance?
It was not his best.
Really?
I don't think so. I feel like he's knowing
There's a bit of a
knowing what I know of the production. It feels like he just kind of dialed it in.
Yeah. Do you want to tell a little bit about the backstory?
Marlon Brando basically just jerked Coppola around for a while, and then charged him more money.
He got $1 million a week. He didn't read the book Heart of Darkness to prepare, and he was supposed to be really physically fit when he came in, and he was like a 400-pound gorilla.
He was the Brando that you all know.
So that's why they shoot him in shadows mostly, which is kind of, I think that's like a Jaws situation where they don't show the shark. Although in the Redux version, they do show him in daylight, which makes me question, does Francis Ford Coppola even know what makes his movie good? I don't think so. But
He kind of lost his mind.
for the theatrical version, I think that Kurtz is great, and he's the perfect climax. I think it turned out extraordinarily well, considering, it's this 260-day production, and a lot of that dialogue was just improvised. I think Marlon Brando pulled that out of his and I think he delivered. But if you guys don't think so, I do have a line here from Kurtz. I'd like to get a dramatic reading from both of you, see if you could have done a better job. See if Coppola got his money's worth, $4 million. Now in editing, if we could have some some ambient jungle noise, some ominous music here, and
I watched a snail crawl along the edge of a stray razor. That's my dream. That's my nightmare. Crawling, slithering along the edge of the razor, and surviving.
There you go.
I mean, what does that even mean? That's so metaphorical.
exactly, only Brando could deliver that and make it work.
Yeah, because
But let's see. Give it a shot.
I don't see. This is why.
And
for
Action.
I don't say action. I say act because I'm an artist.
right,
Yeah,
of
whatever.
course, you're an artist. I watched a snail crawl along the edge of a straight razor. That's my dream. That's my nightmare. Crawling, slithering along the edge of a straight razor. And surviving.
I felt something. that was good.
You settle down over there.
Wow.
Is that
Peanut
jungle
gallery.
noises? Yeah. Cameraman Brian not even on a camera. He's just sitting back there directing. Well, I'm sure Marlon Brando had some time to prepare, and I didn't, so I'm chalking it up to that.
And he was a little motivated by a couple $1 million.
Yeah.
So.
And probably drugs and alcohol and,
I just have this sparkling cider.
Let's talk about the supporting cast. We got Dennis Hopper and the crew. Dennis Hopper is crazy in this movie, and he's just as crazy in the behind the scenes. He's not even acting in this movie.
Lawrence Fishburne playing his little kid
Yeah,
part.
he's like
That was so
14
cool.
years old. Morpheus.
Yeah, I
Little-
know, I
little
saw that, and I was like,
Morpheus.
is that Morpheus? Right, it's Morpheus.
I love the crew, personally.
The crew was the best part.
Yeah.
Yeah. They felt like real people. They were all fleshed out. They had really distinct personalities.
Absolutely. And it was weird, too, because Chef, I thought he was Tom Hardy at first. And I was like, wait a second.
No.
This was made a long time ago. This is Martin Sheen, not Charlie Sheen.
What'd you think of the scene? Matt, you're a big day for night connoisseur. What'd you think of the day for night in this with the tiger sequence?
I didn't like them. I like the sequence, but the color was too blue.
Yeah, too blue. But
Too blue.
I love that they used real tiger behind the scenes. You see
That
they have an
was-
actual tiger trainer on set with scars all up his face. It's amazing. This is the authenticity we miss out on these days.
I guess, but Jesus. Do we need a real tiger?
Yeah. Yeah, we need a real tiger.
No, I did find it strange that there was always colored smoke, even though there wasn't actually a reason for there to be colored smoke.
Because you're in a dream world. You're in a dream state.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God, is this movie all a dream?
No, it's not all a dream, but you're in a different world, pretty much.
It could all be a dream.
Could, but
It's all Martin Sheen's dream. He never woke up from his heart attack.
Just
He's
an
in a
update
coma.
on Gary Oldman. He will be a little bit late, but stay tuned. He's coming.
We're really excited for Gary Oldman.
Okay, the last thing I want to talk about is the cow mutilation sequence.
That's a real cow.
It is a real
Did
cow.
you not know that
No,
was a real cow? That
I
was
didn't
locals?
at first, and watching the scene, I was like, wow, that was really good prosthetics. I feel like that was real, and I looked it up, and holy cow. No pun intended, I guess.
The locals cut up a cow, and they all ate it, and they had a feast. It was pretty sweet.
No, but what if I told you that it wasn't just a local custom, and Coppola was providing the tribe with a cow to slaughter, specifically for the movie?
Hey, gotta do what you gotta do.
No, you don't. That's so messed up.
It probably costs less than building a prosthetic cow and all that.
It doesn't
stuff.
matter. You're killing an animal for...
I watched you eat a cheeseburger yesterday.
That's true. I mean, I can't really complain because animals are slaughtered every day.
Every day.
To feed us. So, I mean, if
Yeah,
one dies...
to feed us, but then we're not making a spectacle of it.
Well, you would hope that the crew did make use of all the body afterwards, but
I hope so, but like that's just I think that
yeah,
there's,
it does.
There's a line that you shouldn't cross whilst making movies, TV shows, or whatever. When you're actually getting something, harming something to make it more impactful, because obviously they did that so they could intercut
it was very
scene
effective.
with Kurtz, exactly, and you're imagining what that machete's actually doing to him if that was what it was doing to that cow. But I
you know
just
that
think,
cow was immortalized on film forever, so it'd be stoked if it was conscious.
you know what? I'm cool. Leave me
People
alive.
ate-
Don't cut me
people
up on
ate-
film. I don't want to be immortalized on film. Let me live my life. I don't.
When I die, I want to donate my body to a movie so it can be used as like blow it up or something, some
Yeah.
realistic effect. Put it in that Swiss Army Man too.
Practical effects.
You know what? Just, I mean.
But I feel like after
guess
day
burn me.
150, you just stop caring, and you're like, you know what? Yeah, let's cut up that cow. Let's get a real cow. Screw it.
All right, well, give me you guys' final ratings on the movie and your final thoughts, wrapping it up, our discussion here.
I'm gonna give it 4.5 bloody crying Martin Sheens. This movie, I want to say it's one of the more important ones of the past 50 years. If you haven't seen it, just watch it. Stop listening to us and just go on Netflix and watch it. If it's on Netflix. If not, you'll find it.
Amazon Prime. I will give this 3 out of 5 Kilgore surfboards. It was a good movie. You could tell that the cinematic value of it was good. The production was good, even though it was apparently crazy. I believed everything that I was seeing for the most part. It was all realistic feeling, even though it was all surrealistic. But and it did a good job of descending into madness like it was trying to do. But it was just overall just a little too abstract, a little too cerebral. It was a little too like, it was a little too in the air. You didn't know what's real. It felt not real. It gave me the heebie-jeebies.
I'm gonna drop my first ever 5 out of 5 cows on the show.
What? I'll drink to that.
With the stipulation, I'm reviewing the theatrical cut. The Redux is bloated and unnecessary, and all that stuff should have been deleted.
Now, like, almost dead cow or fully intact cow?
Severed cow.
Oh, okay. That's important. That's important.
I'm interested in checking out more Coppola stuff. He's probably my most neglected of the film school brats, I feel like his career's really gone downhill since this movie, though. Like, he did Dracula, but everything else is subpar, from what I've heard.
Well, this is, Coppola and Lucas making money.
Yeah, we didn't talk about that. Originally, Lucas was going to shoot this as a pseudo-documentary while the Vietnam War was actually going on.
I think the proper pronunciation is pseudo.
Suo. Where is Suo? Suo, we miss you.
All right. Well, we're going to go to commercial, but when we come back, we're doing our top 10 movies of all time.
Sure, I look cute now, but when my owner lost his job, it was rough. I was living on the street, and one night, me and this Cocker Spaniel got into it so bad, I wound up looking like an ice cream cone. I cried a little bit, but thankfully I got rescued, so I'm running, I'm jumping, all back to my old self, and I'm ready to give unconditional love, even if you put a lampshade on my head.
Wow. That is just so cerebral.
Oh, you finished that whole book on the commercial break, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm a fast reader. All right. Here we are, episode 10 of The Take. Woo! We're going to do our top 10 movies of all time, starting with Mr. Zglimbea. Give it to us.
So starting from number 10, and again, these are in no particular order until we get to number 1. So number 10, I have Saving Private Ryan, great war movie. Best beginning sequence of, or best war sequence of any movie. We have Goodfellas at number 9. Awesome. Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring. That was a great one to put on there. And then 7, I have a split because these I see the same. Predator 1 or Aliens. So Alien 2, just because they're similar and I didn't want to take up 2 spots. I have Shaun of the Dead at number 6. Again, no particular order. Dracula with Gary Oldman, who will be here soon. Then I have The Boondock Saints.
Jesus.
Dark Knight, The Prestige, and my number 1 in my top 10 movie is Jaws.
Beautiful.
Yes, Jaws, just because it was one of the first big movies that I've ever seen. I love sharks. Scares the crap out of me still.
That was a big movie for me, just bonding with my dad. It was like, I forget how old I was, like 12 or something. And he was like, I'm going to get you an R-rated movie because mom's out of town.
Nice.
Nice. My number 10 is his favorite movie, UHF. Then I go Alien, first Alien, not Aliens.
Nice.
The original.
I'd agree with that.
The Star Wars saga, I'm putting that as 1.
Okay, sure.
It's
cheating,
whatever.
but okay.
Nah. Then I have Die Hard.
Nice.
With Bruce Willis.
Okay.
Predator. Separating those two.
Right.
My top 5 rounded out Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Oh, that's a great movie.
The Exorcist.
2 credits.
This one.
Nice. 4.5 on your top 10. Okay.
Yeah. Hey,
you're pretty harsh with your star ratings.
I'm harsh. Not really. Everything gets 4s, it seems like. My second is Gangs of New York. And my first, number 1, is No Country for Old Men. I just love Tommy Lee Jones in that movie.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
All right, here we
Good
go.
list.
Memories of Murder by Bong Joon-ho, representing my love of Asian cinema. This guy's the Korean Steven Spielberg. That's what he's called. Number 9, Hitchcock's Vertigo.
Ooh.
You will dissect this movie to hell if you go to film school. King Kong, 1933.
Nice.
Watched it a million times
Stop
as a
motion
kid.
one?
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Boogie Nights.
With
Paul
Mark
Thomas
Wahlberg.
Anderson. Prosthetic dick. 6, A Serious Man, representing the second Coen Brothers movie here. 5, Gimme Shelter, documentary on the Rolling Stones at a concert where Hell's Angels were the security and they ended up stabbing a man.
That's
Number
awfully
4, Where the
specific.
Wild Things Are.
Really?
Makes me cry every time.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it because James Gandolfini is now dead?
I didn't even think about that, but that's another layer of sadness. Number 3, Spring Breakers. I saw this on Easter Sunday, appropriately enough.
Okay. Why is he running this show? Why is he running this show? And that's number 3.
That movie blew me away. Number
Yeah.
2, John Carpenter's The Thing. Probably the
Ooh, I
most
forgot about
amazing.
The Thing.
I watched this on a projector with my grandma.
Nice.
And she was very disappointed with my uncle for bringing that movie into the house. And number 1 of all time, Stanley Kubrick's The Shining. I see something new in it every time I watch it. Boom. All right, dudes, you know what time it is.
Mailfern. Mailfern.
Wow.
Yeah, build it up there for a 10th
Much
one.
different rendition.
Yeah,
Here you go, Dad Rossio.
Oh, God.
Chosen
Really?
ones. I don't know. I'm not going to touch them.
This one goes to your
He's
mom
older.
or dad.
Jesus.
Oh, God.
All right, here we go. I don't know if we're going to have time to get to all these. We'll edit in the most interesting one. Sorry. Thank you for writing in. All right. John Farms really wants to know, if you guys were stuck on an island, who would Horatiu kill first?
Me.
Probably.
Or himself.
Me.
Yeah. I don't know if I want to be on an island with one of these guys, man. Dad Horatiu. John's Farms is curious. John, wow. Do you prefer Kevin Smith or Kevin James?
Smith.
Right? Yeah, right? He's got great movies.
Kevin James hasn't made a single good movie.
No.
Ever.
Except his show, The King of Queens. That's entertaining.
On a more personal level, John Farms wonders, digital or physical?
Physical.
I
No
don't-
question.
You know, I used to be on that digital bandwagon, and now I'm getting back into physical. So I'm
Yeah,
gonna go with
I
physical.
converted you. I thought
You
we were
did.
going to have like a big debate on the show one day, but
No.
you came around.
Yeah.
You saw the light.
I don't think it matters. It all looks great to me.
John Farms is also wondering, can Spielberg come back from a disaster that is BFG?
No.
I didn't see BFG, but I will say I'm disappointed in the
Spielberg is done. Spielberg is done.
It's a little crazy. I gave it 3.
That was Gary Oldman. He canceled.
God. Gary!
He always flakes.
It's like the third time
He's
we've
a
tried to
flake.
do this with Gary Oldman. We really thought we had him this time.
Yeah, before we just kept it under wraps. We didn't want you guys to be, it was a surprise.
But, yeah, I don't know if you guys know this, but I actually just recently signed a record deal with Cage Mastering. It's a little company based in Detroit.
Pretty sure
And,
it's Kage Mastering.
Oh, well.
I don't know.
it's-
I've never heard of it, but I'm pretty sure it's Kage
But
Mastering.
the first single on the record is actually going to be based on The Take. It's
Hey.
a little original song I wrote.
Oh, shoot.
So, we'll get that going. We'll get that ready here.
Wow.
before the
We're going to take
outro.
a quick edit break so that we can
edit
listen to Dan play a guitar.
And now, it's Dan Gordon!
This little song came to me in a dream. I don't know where the creative inspiration comes from, It's just...
It happens.
One step at a time, in the blink of an eye. I'm learning to live, I'm learning to fly. One step at a time, in the blink of an eye. It's beautiful. It could happen in a blink.
All right! Dan Gordon, ladies and gentlemen!
Come on! We are the tank! Woo! One step at a time, in the blink of an eye. One step at a time, one step at a time,
In the blink of an eye.
Don't stop, Dan. No, stop. Don't, Dan, stop. Oh my God, there's too much to clean up.